Welcome to All in a Day's Work, where employee relations issues meet workplace solutions. This show is an open forum to help employees and managers meet in the middle as they strive for greater productivity and more harmony in the workplace. Your host, Steven Hollingsworth, is an employee relations specialist and motivational speaker, striving to help employees and managers work together to make work better. The phone lines are open at 702-483-4444. That's 702-483-4444. Now, let's get to work and bring on the host. Here is Steven Hollingsworth.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a wonderful, wonderful day. This is Steven Hollingsworth. I am your host of the All in a Day's Work radio show. I hope everyone is having a wonderful, wonderful day. It is really beautiful outside. I want to say congratulations to all of the graduates of 2014 because you guys have accomplished something great, and that means an awful lot to all of us. And we know that you have the future ahead of you, so I want you guys to do great things, and I always know that you will. Also, to all the fathers, we want to wish you guys a happy Father's Day. Enjoy your day. That's right. Don't do anything tomorrow. I know that's not going to happen, but it's always a great wish. So happy Father's Day to everyone. I want everybody to know that the All in a Day's Work radio show is brought to you by Cash Jewelry Creations. Whether you want something fun and trendy or an elegant piece for that special occasion, Cash Jewelry Creations has a unique jewelry design just for you. Call 702-403-2797. That's 702-403-2797 today. Cash Jewelry Creations, handcrafted with care, ready to wear. Now today, we have an exciting show, one that is really a show that is overdue. We need to make sure that this topic, which is workplace bullying, is really touched at, because so many people are going through this situation. It's like an epidemic in our country, but nothing is being done about it until now. My guest today is a gentleman who, instead of just talking about it, he decided to do something about it. His name is Mr. Richard Santiago, and he's the director of a documentary on workplace bullying. Special delivery, The Bully Exposed. Welcome, Mr. Santiago. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on, Steve.
I am so glad to finally have you on the show.
I've been waiting myself.
Yeah, we actually had so much trying to get this show ready, but now that we've had the opportunity to actually sit down and get a chance to talk, I want to open the show up to you to allow you to be able to have callers call in. And they can call in at 702-483-4444. That's 702-483-4444 if they want to give you a call while this show is going on. But I want to open the floor to you, and I want you to be able to tell people about workplace bullying and how you got involved in this situation.
Well, I got involved because I was working at this place that was really. I was really surprised. I felt like I was back in the 60s when I started working at this place. Mm-hmm. It was in 2005. Mm-hmm. There were some things going on that I was just surprised. I mean, sexism was going on. Mm-hmm. I would hear things like a supervisor one day say, you know, the workplace was better until women came along. And it's like, how would you even know that? I don't think there's anyone that's alive that remembers before women came on in the workforce. And it's such an ignorant thing to say.
Yes, it is.
But, and they would bully people. And then, so I decided, you know, there was a union involved in this job. So I decided, well, I'm going to join the union because I can't stand to see this going on any longer. Mm-hmm. So I joined the union, and then myself became a target because you take an oath when you do this. So I was sticking to that oath, and I found that I became the target, and it was really bad. Every day was an everyday thing of being yelled at and pulled into my manager's office and yelled at. Mm-hmm. And finally I got a lawyer, and that pretty much put an end to it. And then I kept seeing it occurring to people and friends. Mm-hmm. For instance, I got a friend right now who's been terminated from this job because he was terminated from this job, and he's got no recourse, nothing he can do because he was just set up. He was just set up, and there's nothing he can do. So I decided, I can't stand by and watch this anymore. And I started about 2 years ago creating this documentary with great interviews by Dr. Namey and a few other people who are trying to get bills passed. And it's been a hard struggle because every time I go, I'm hit with a wall. Like every step I take, I'm knocked back 2 steps. And it's sad. It's like you think that it would be over if you get a lawyer, but, now there's people that are, from my understanding, I interviewed a lady yesterday over the phone who tells me that, when you go to get a lawyer, some of these big companies go and bully that lawyer into backing out of the case. I've had some people call me and tell me that numerous times. I got a lawyer, he was gung-ho, he was ready to go. All of a sudden, he wouldn't return my calls. He has $5,000 of my money, and I'm not seeing any of that back. And it's like, wow, this goes deeper than I thought.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's kind of like when we were in high school or even in elementary school, where the bullies actually are picking on one kid, and then other people are feeling sorry for the kid, and the bully intimidates the other children into not saying anything while they continue to do the same situation.
And that is exactly what's going on here. I've talked to people that they've tried to go and get help, and their bullier would go and kind of go in and talk to that person before they get a chance to fill their heads with this person's just a lousy person. So now when that person goes in to talk, they have their preset idea of what this person is. So now they don't want to help them. It's like they have it down to a science, the bullies in the workplace. And it's terrible. Nobody wants to listen. Nobody wants to make the change. And I'm wondering why. Is it that these big companies have the power to manipulate the media, manipulate, our system?
It's like a lot of them really do. They would protect the bully as opposed to just getting rid of the bully and solving the entire problem. It seems like it would be easier to do that than it would take to get rid of an employee that is outstanding, that is doing great things, and that is really great for the company. Instead, you'd rather protect the bully and get rid of the person and allow and basically you're ending productivity as well, because nobody wants to work for you now. That is a horrible thing. We actually have a lot of callers on the line. All right. So we're going to actually go ahead and go to one of the callers. Hello, caller. Are you? Oh, that one is hung up. Let's see if we can go to the next one. Okay. Caller, are you there?
Hello.
Hello. How are you today?
I'm well, thank you.
Welcome to the All in a Day's Work radio show. You have a question for Mr. Santiago?
No, Mr. Santiago asked me to prepare a 30-second statement about my experience. And
go ahead and tell your story.
Yes, please.
Is this Susan? Is this Sue?
Is.
Oh, that is great.
Hi, Sue. Go ahead and tell people what you went through.
My statement is that I think that legally sanctioned bullying is an epidemic. I was in the heyday of my career, nominated for the highest award in my field, and thereby hired by a neighboring, purportedly higher-end company. In 9 months at that company, my career was dismantled in the presence of clients who learned to exploit my situation for their entertainment. After a client assault left me physically disabled, companies hired by my employer destroyed everything for which I worked for 30 years. This experience did not end my intellect, and so now I want to use that to stand against bullying in the workplace and to help other people who are in this situation.
Wow.
Yes,
a person who is as high as you, basically on the top of their career, and for you to have to deal with somebody physically assaulting you, and the company basically did nothing.
No, they did nothing.
I'm so sorry that you're having to go through that. See, this is why it's important, and what you're doing with this documentary is important to bring, to shine a light on people's stories like this. I am so sorry you had to go through that.
Well, thank you. It has been so far 3-year learning experience.
Mm-hmm. Wow. For a person's life to be put on hold, having to deal with this when they did nothing wrong.
Let me also say for all your listeners, excuse me, Sue, for all your listeners, if they want to join in on this documentary, because I'm also doing short documentaries to place on YouTube to draw buzz about my bigger project. The website is The Bully Exposed. TheBullyExposed.com is the website. You go on there. We have a hotline number, 413-370-2400. You can call me or text me there. What I'm trying to do now with these short stories is I'm interviewing people via Skype to keep the money down, or via FaceTime if you have a Mac computer. And I'm interviewing these people, and I'm giving them a chance to tell their stories, and the response I'm getting is overwhelming. People are so happy that I'm giving them a chance to actually publicly tell their story. They have not had that opportunity, because when they ask for someone to speak with and say, hey, let me tell you what's going on, they're shut down.
That's true.
So they don't get a chance to tell their story. So if you are listening and you want to get a chance to tell your story, contact me at my website at the number that I gave, and I'll be happy to hear your story and to put it on YouTube for the world to see.
Yes. I thank you so much for being our caller.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.
Yes,
we have another caller on the line. Caller, are you there?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling the All in a Day's Work radio show. Do you have a question for Mr. Santiago?
I was asked to also call in.
Oh, thank you.
I'm a supporter of laws across the country for workplace bullying, and I'm also a victim of bullying.
What's your name, caller?
My name is Michael Mirsky. I was bullied by Verizon Communications landline division in New Jersey.
Tell us your story, please.
I worked there for 18 years. I was let go unlawfully in 2008. My union was able to prove that I was picked on and bullied and let go unlawfully, and got my job back underneath the oral argument that I could never work in the same location as the supervisor that was bullying me. The supervisor in question was moved back into a work location where I was working because in January 2012, because of an alleged heart attack. I thought that a heart attack should humble a person in any circumstance. And unfortunately, it didn't. Less than 2 weeks later, he was back bullying me, even though I didn't work for him in the same department. He started following me around, tormenting me. It led to several panic attacks where I had to go seek medical attention via a hospital. I agree. It hurt my productivity and the productivity of my garage location. And I'm a supporter of the Healthy Workplace Bill, New Jersey.
Yes.
And we need to try to strengthen these laws and regulations across the country, and we need other people to try to help contact radio shows such as this to support laws and regulations throughout.
I agree wholeheartedly. I am so sorry again that you had to go through this. You did nothing, and then instead of the company getting rid of the problem, they just moved you basically and allowed the problem to continue, even though the person is no longer your supervisor. They don't understand it's not always the position; it's the person in the position that is doing all of this. And see, once again, this is the type of situation where people have to know these stories.
You'd be surprised the stories that I'm getting from just this company alone, this telecommunication telecommunications company alone. It's amazing.
I'm just blown away. Caller, I thank you so much for all of your service.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you so much for calling in and sharing with us. Sharing with us your stories. Thank you so much. We're actually going to take.
Anytime.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
We're actually going to take a short break, and we're going to pay a couple of bills for our commercials. And when we come back, we're actually going to go right back into our workplace bullying. We're going to go right back into our workplace bullying situation because this is extremely important for us. It's extremely important for us because the situation is extremely important. So when we come back, we'll be right back with All in a Day's Work radio show.
I want to make a difference.
I want to make this world a better place.
I want to inspire you to help me stop workplace bullying.
SpecialDeliveryDoc.com is creating a documentary to help expose workplace bullying, and we want to inspire you to help.
Visit SpecialDeliveryDoc.com. Get your anti-bullying t-shirt. Make a tax-deductible donation.
If you've been bullied, share your story.
Find help and support.
Visit SpecialDeliveryDoc.com today to see how you can be a hero and help stop workplace bullying.
Ever since I was a little girl, I always dreamt of the perfect wedding, and Studio LV helped me capture my perfect wedding.
Everyone's greatest desire is to belong and feel connected with others on every level. And now with FaceTime and Skype, we can see each other whenever we desire. And it reminds us that we are all human.
All in a Day's Work is back. I'm your host, Steven Hollingsworth. We just got bombarded with everyone calling in for this show and for this gentleman who's doing such great work when it comes to actually shining the light on what is really a dark place in our lives, and that's workplace bullying that's going on. Now, you were telling me something about Mr. Mike off the air a little bit about his story that makes it even worse.
Yeah, Mike, unfortunately, he's I don't know if he's not allowed or he's unable to see his daughter, because he's not paying child support because he doesn't have a job. But it's like a vicious double-edged sword. Yeah. He's not working, so how can, he should still be allowed to see his daughter and not pay child support if he's not working. Yeah,
I mean, all of that and like going from the workplace bullying into affecting his life outside of the workplace.
People don't understand how much it affects the home. Yeah. And the life. Me and my wife, I have to admit, me and my wife a few times decided, you know what? It's over. Yeah. Go your way, I'm going my way. But thank God with God's help, we've stuck it through.
Amen. I think that's something that a lot of people need to understand as well, that when you are dealing with these type issues, they don't just stop at work. They follow you. They go with you everywhere that you go. And when they go wherever you go, then it causes those issues. And sometimes we don't know that we're actually taking it out on our loved ones.
Right, we don't realize that. And that's exactly what I did, and I didn't realize it.
Yeah, and it completely will change a person. You'll go from where you're mild-mannered And then once you start bullying, it's like, okay, where's your release? So a lot of times you release it when you get home.
Right.
And that's something to look at as well. We actually have so many callers on the line for you.
All right.
We got another caller. Caller, are you there with us? Hello, please lower your radio. Hello. Caller, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Could you please lower your computer because we can hear your reverb? Okay. Thank you so much. How are you doing?
Up a lot.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. How are you doing today?
Not too bad, all things considered.
Okay, what's your name?
My name's Mike. I was a almost 29-year postal employee.
Mm-hmm.
In September of October 12th, I did a job that I finally liked. After 28 years, I got a job on days with weekends off, and it was a job that wasn't going to destroy me physically. I worked in one of the postal plants.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, the day I've been in there, looking back, I had a target on my back from day one. The boss was constantly on my back. Didn't matter what I did. I was the first one on the job, last one off the job.
Mm-hmm.
I did extra work. I probably put more through that machine than they ever got before, but it was never enough for her. And finally, after about a month, I had enough. I told her off. I told her to get off my back. I told her she was an effing control freak. And I ended up 2 hours later walking me out the door at the end of my shift. Even had me put the last box in the dumper. So I finished my job. Walked me out the door supposedly for creating a hostile work environment.
Why wasn't she the one that was creating a hostile work environment?
That's exactly how they work.
I mean, that's what I tried to tell him. The boss came over at the end of my shift with the manager, and he asked me what I did, and I told him, and he said, was that appropriate? And I said, no. And he asked me if that was respectful, and I said no. I said, but respect is a two-way street.
That's right.
And then he told me I was being insubordinate.
Can I ask you a question, Mike?
What's that?
Can I ask you a question? Do you have a union, right?
Yes, I did.
Well, did you ever go to the union while this was happening to you?
My union threw me under the bus.
Oh, wow.
I'm extremely disappointed. I didn't get a copy of the grievance package until 2 months after the arbitration was settled and I lost. I had somebody that I worked with get me the copy of the arbitration package. And one of the things the arbitrator cited for upholding my removal was that I refused to sign a sworn statement.
Well, if you don't agree
I had a steward with me that was witness that the guy never asked me to sign a sworn statement. Yet my union representative put in his statement to the arbitrator that the inspector was trying to coerce me into signing a sworn statement. What? And she cited my refusal to sign a sworn statement as part of the reason she upheld the removal.
Okay, well, why would you sign something if you don't agree with it?
Right.
I would have signed a sworn statement as to what happened. I would have had no problem doing that. As a matter of fact, when I walked into the inspector interview, the first thing he said to me, the first words out of his mouth was, "I'm not even going to give you a polygraph." And I told him right there, I said, "I'll take a polygraph," because I had nothing to hide. I wrote a 5-page statement of all the things, of most of the things, not even all the things, but most of the things that she put me through during the month that I was there. And that didn't even cover everything. But I had been an active union member. I was in safety and health for a number of years. I was a steward for a number of years. And naturally, I made some enemies in management. Now, I hadn't had any interactions with this particular manager for probably 8 years. But apparently, he still held a grudge. And, yeah, I never had a chance. They had 6 people go up there. There was a fellow mail handler, a fellow union member, actually, that was one of the main instigators here. And it turns out her and the supervisor were best buddies. The supervisor is godmother to one of her grandchildren, so they're friends.
And the other male handler was mad because I was senior to her, and I bid in and took her job.
See, this is actually what happens to a lot of people. This is, they get intimidated, and this is why they won't speak up. Because when they do, they still get railroaded.
Yeah. Well, we were called idiots. I was called slow learner. I was told I didn't understand anything. If I kept track of one job, I got yelled at for not keeping track of the other job. If I kept track of that, I got yelled at for not keeping track of the other job. It was impossible. It was physically impossible to please her. And I didn't know what was happening at the time. It was afterwards. It was like when I got onto the Workplace Bullying Institute website. And I said, wow, this is like the textbook. It was amazing. It's just, I got completely railroaded.
Well, that's a no-win situation.
Yeah. A lot of postal workers tell me that one thing that the post office does is that they'll have two managers. One manager will tell the person, here, go do this. Here, do this. The next supervisor will come and say, here, you go do this. And so the rule in the post office, from my understanding, is that and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, the person must follow the order of the last supervisor. So when the first supervisor tells him to do something, the next one comes and tells him to do something else, he has to go and follow that order or he can be terminated. So he goes, follows that order. Now here comes the first supervisor and says, why aren't you doing what I told you? Well, because this guy told me to do this. No, and they actually use that to terminate the person.
That's double talk.
They use that to actually terminate. I mean, if they used it just to give them discipline, okay, I can kind of live with that. But they use it to actually remove the person. No. Failure to follow instructions is what they call it. The post office definitely needs to be investigated.
Yeah, that's
for sure.
Without a doubt.
Thanks for calling.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mike. We're actually going to move on to our next caller. Caller, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, sir. What's your name?
Shelton Prince.
Mr. Shelton, okay. You can't call to tell us about your story as well, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay, we are waiting and our ears are open.
Okay, when you want me to start?
Oh, right now it would be great.
Okay, yes, my name is Shelton Prince. I live in Massachusetts. I was working for this company called Callaway Laboratories. It was a small toxicology drug testing laboratory, and everything was fine, with me working within the company. I happened to be somewhat what they consider later on the oddball of the company, because it was a very professional atmosphere, and I came from an atmosphere of being homeless, recovering drug addict, and in 2007 there was an article published in the Boston Globe about my story of redemption. And once this company and the individuals found out exactly what my background entails, the little snickering, little stories of basically I don't belong in that atmosphere, started to surface. I went to Atlanta for the company, and upon my arrival back into the company in 2008, there had been some major changes within the company, and a couple of the individuals that had actually made a couple of, stereotypical remarks regarding my background had been promoted to a much higher position in the department that I worked in, and there were a few remarks, about, watermelon and chicken made. One remark that I found to be very offensive, when the manager that managed the apartment was referring to two of my subordinates, she was saying, well, basically, two women are basically putting a noose around their own neck. Me being of African descent, I found it to be very, very offensive. I approached the CEO of the company, and right then they demanded that we fix this issue, because they so-called did not want no racial tension within the organization. Apparently, their way of fixing it, did not. It created a bigger problem for me. When my bullying became, more obvious, when positions was being opened up, I was being denied certain, opportunities to apply for these positions. When I did inquire about it, I was told that, you didn't really want that position. They don't pay as much. And then, just my attire, the clothes that I wore, I was always getting like little, stereotypical jokes and, referred to, other negative African American subjects, pimp, drug dealer.
But the thing about that is you can't judge a person based upon what you see them wearing or anything like that. And when it comes to things that happened in the past, we all make mistakes.
We all do, and I found it to be more hurtful because these are people who I had trusted. It wasn't like I came into the company, and automatically told them who I was, told them about my background. I came in just like they came in to go to work every day to provide for their family. So as time went on, the Boston Globe was pretty curious about, how this company started out, because we have been promoting that, we give second chances to individuals, who had made mistakes in the past, and I became the subject of the article that was written in the Boston Globe. And truly, based on my past life, I started to get that little feeling like, when I come around, hide your pocketbook, shut your door, don't say certain things. I wasn't invited to a lot of sales meetings, which I ended up being in the sales department later. I wasn't invited to a lot of the sales meetings. Company policies were being changed regarding, how we interact with customers. I was left out on some of those things. It was a couple of times I actually went out on a sale call and went to log into the company's online website to try to help the customer navigate through the website so they can retrieve the results from the test. And I was shocked. Like the whole format had changed. So I kind of wiggled my way out of that. Thankfully I had a good relationship with the person that I was actually trying to help navigate through the website. But upon ending that visit with the individual, I called back into the corporate office and I was like, hey, there's some changes made. Why wasn't I aware? Like, oh, you didn't get the email? I'm like, no, I didn't get the email. Like, oh, we thought you got it. And those things were on and on and on and on until it got to the point where, it became very stressful. The environment became very hostile. And it affected my job performance. I truly felt like I didn't belong. So basically, it had taken an emotional toll on me. It had affected my social life. With my family life, just like interacting with my children and my wife, it had been affected. And I think the last thing that happened, I went to see my primary care physician, and I was telling her about this, and she was like, well, I noticed the last few times you come in, this has been the topic. She said, I want you to see somebody. She referred me to a therapist, which I was kind of reluctant, to really, basically, here I am, a grown man, being hurt emotionally, by words and by other people's actions, So I was a little embarrassed, to let this therapist know exactly what was going on, but I knew that I had to do something. I had to share something before it really got bad. So I started to share with this therapist, and I would go back into the workplace, and it seemed like every day it had gotten worse. Like it was just a struggle, just getting out of my vehicle to go into the corporate office. See, I think I finally spoke to the CEO about it. He said that he would fix it. And again, his way of fixing it was pretty much to just throw me to the wolves.
I'm sorry. I gotta pause there and let you know that you're not alone. I think a lot of callers are sharing these type of stories with us. I want to thank you for calling, first off, for being brave enough to call in and let us know about the things that have really affected you. I look forward to hearing from you again in the future. So we're going to talk to you, but we got to run because we got another caller on the line as well. Thank you so much for calling.
All right. Thank you for allowing me to share.
Oh, no problem. Okay. Our next caller. Caller, are you there?
Yes, I am here.
Okay, sir. What's your name?
My name is Neil Dias.
Okay, sir. How are you doing today?
Good. How you doing?
Good. I'm great. Thank you for calling into the All in a Day's Work radio show.
Neil has a very amazing story. Go ahead, Neil. Tell him your story.
Good. I know you ain't got much time. First, I want to thank you so much. I think it's honorable that you're doing something like this. You have no idea of the magnitude of the individual it affects. Just run down. I'm from Massachusetts. I was employed with Verizon. I started in 1997 as a technician at $7.35 an hour. I went back to school. I went and received 2 degrees. And I'm a father of 5 children, but I received 2 degrees at night while I was working at Verizon. I moved my way up into management. What happened was, what I did was I ended up getting on the Verizon New England Diversity Committee. I was second in charge of that. I worked my way up to a very, very high producer. What I started beginning to see was a lot of abusive behavior, which now you didn't know at that point was considered workplace bullying. I didn't like it. I'm a minority. I didn't like it. I was in charge of. There was 80 technicians in my garage, 4 managers, 3 Caucasian, and of course myself was a minority. So the abusive behavior wasn't happening to one specific culture, it was happening to everybody. So there was over 78 Caucasian individuals, 2 minorities in the garage, but they were being bullied and retaliated on by other management. It was my responsibility as a person, as a manager of the company, and a Verizon New England diversity member to try to resolve this issue, and I did what I could in a proper professional manner that I have. It only got really bad. Then I had to report it and try to resolve it with my boss, with these managers. Well, in reality, it was a little cahoots. And so they didn't protect the individuals that were the victims, myself or the other individuals. The retaliatory acts, came back and came back to me. It got very, very bad. It got racist. It got discriminatory. I was scorned. In every fashion, my productivity was targeted. Emotionally, physically, I was tormented. A lot of things happened to me. But the fact of the matter is I was in meetings from presidents of Verizon, directors of Verizon, where we would be taught by legal department how to attack these individuals at Verizon and cover it up, and how we can go with them. And what we do is they do things like this. They would teach you in meetings that if they were out to get someone, what they would do is build cases against them. They would do, like Mike Mursky is 100% right. Mike Mursky's out of New Jersey. I met Mike Mursky because of bullying, but I never knew him before. But what happened was they would teach managers within Verizon, company-wide, they will have meetings and they will teach them how to go after people. For instance, they would take things off their vehicle, someone they wanted to target. They would call another manager and tell them to do a drive-by and do like a safety, what they considered a safety check. They would let them know what they did to their vehicles. Now they would continuously go over there and find these things that were missing and write them up. Over time, they would build cases, and then they would suspend and try to fire. The union would then only protect the individuals they chose, and the other ones be left to fend for themselves, like Mike Mursky. Once I started to finding these things out, I was beginning to get retaliated on because I wasn't supposed to turn against my management team and protect these individuals that they were targeting. But I felt it was immoral. It was my purpose as a Christian, as an individual in this world, to ensure that other people wouldn't be harmed. So I did that. In the end, I lost my job in 2008. I was making $150,000 a year. I'm making $18 an hour now. I went from making $7.35 an hour, impoverished, being successful, doing well. I was at a point Verizon would fly me to New York for meetings. I would speak all over the place on diversity, inclusiveness, treating people with respect. And I was flying into New York. They'd limo me into the city. I'd go to meetings, do meetings, seminars. I'd get awards for #1 in Verizon New England Diversity Committee. I would be limoed in, have breakfast in Times Square, meetings, supper in New York, and flown back out. That's how high I achieved success within Verizon, until I exposed them for what they were doing, and I jeopardized my career, knowing I would jeopardize my career, and it got racial, discriminatory. I lost my job for wrongful termination, hostile work environment, discriminatory acts. I fought it. Took me 10 years. Man. I went to court. I lost with a jury, and the jury wasn't of my peers. It was 11 Caucasian individuals, one minority, with a Caucasian judge in South Boston, where is dominated by Irish, which my wife is Irish. I've been married 23 years as of next week. We've been together 26. My children are Irish and Cape Verdean, and I lost in the dominated racial factor within Boston. With the political power, and I was listening to your show. Everybody on your show is telling you the truth. Companies like Verizon have major factors in outcome of any decision politically and factually when it comes to legal cases. This workplace bullying is so large. In 2011, I started to post my story. I have a following over 2 million people. I'm on 200 different groups. I've spoken all over the country. I've spoken in Washington, D.C. at a national workplace bullying conference. I've been speaking at, invited by politicians trying to push the healthy workplace bill through states of not New York. There's 37 states that are trying to push it through. And right now in New York, I spoke in New York and Connecticut and Washington, D.C. and Massachusetts. And that is what I do. What Rich is doing is an incredible thing. That what he's doing, he's not asking for money. He's doing it out of kindness in his heart and to change people's lives. And what you're doing on this show is impacting people, because the fact of the matter is, it's generational bullying. It's through elementary, middle school, high school, and work. We were told when we were children to treat people with respect.
That's right.
We were also told, what you want to do is go to school, treat people with respect, get a good education, go out, and everything will come to you. But nobody in our homes, nobody in our educational departments and facilities in college to elementary will ever teach you how to deal with this abusive behavior that will terrorize your family. I had to claim bankruptcy last week. I've been brought into court how many times for a civil arrest because I can't pay the bill collectors because I can no longer afford what I did. We've had to go request to try to get food stamps and aid in every way. This shouldn't happen to good families. I have spoken to people almost every day since 2011. I've spoken to people that have had reacted in a violent way, had to go to jail. I've spoken to people that have lost their husbands and wives and their families torn apart. I've listened to people that are depressed and suicidal and have nowhere to turn because the HR departments work for corporate America.
That's true.
They will not turn on the people that are going up and saying there's an issue. They get paid by that company.
That's right.
Those Verizon HR people and ethics and everybody within internally will never turn against their payroll. I understand that, but it's wrong. It's wrong.
It is.
I jeopardize my career, and everybody has, and they do what they can. And you know what? The only way to change if we get laws that help us. But what's happening is most politicians have companies, and they will vote against that law to go in. So the productivity, the demoralization of this country is falling apart each day. People are driving to work comatose, don't want to go there, but they have no choice but to support their family.
That's right. You know what? We're going to actually have to make this a part two.
All right.
Because we want everybody to tell their stories now, but we want to deal with the solution to some of these issues because, one of the things is that, like we were talking about, trying to get legislation passed that will actually open up some eyes for some of the employers. As long as they can continue to get away with it, they will.
Right.
A bully will continue to bully until he's made to stop.
Right.
So until somebody does that, and we have to build something that's going to make it stronger. We really do. I think you guys are on the right track. I know you are. I know this documentary is going to be awesome. I know a lot of people are going to see it, probably more than you can even imagine right now.
I hope so. I do want to mention also that my producer is Brett Cope from Brett Cope Films. He is an award-winning documentarian. He's got a documentary out if you want to see his work called Legends of the Night. You can see the trailer, at wearebatman.com. He's great. He's a great storyteller. He's awesome. I'm sorry that it took me this long to even mention him. He's great. I also do want to mention, like Neil said, I'm not asking for any money on this. All the proceeds to this documentary that I make, whether it goes in the theaters or whether it goes straight to DVD, is going to go to creating an organization to get people help. To get people legal help, counseling, whatever they may need when they're going through this. So I am not asking for any money at all.
Well, we're definitely going to push this. We're going to push this. I'm actually going to push this on this show as well.
I appreciate it.
So we're actually going to take a short break. We actually have another caller that we're going to come back to. Thank you, Neil. We're going to actually have you back on as well.
Okay.
Okay? All right. We're going to take this short break, and when we come back, we're going to finish up. We're going to wrap up. We want to know how people can get in touch with you, how they can get involved in the organization, how they can get involved with the documentaries, get their stories to you, and get some help for workplace bullying.
Great. That sounds great.
All in a Day's Work. We'll be right back.
Ever since I was a little girl, I always dreamt of the perfect wedding, and Studio LV helped me capture my perfect wedding.
I want to make a difference.
I want to make this world a better place.
I want to inspire you to help me stop workplace bullying.
SpecialDeliveryDoc.com is creating a documentary to help expose workplace bullying, and we want to inspire you to help.
Visit SpecialDeliveryDoc.com. Get your anti-bullying t-shirt. Make a tax-deductible donation.
If you've been bullied, share your story.
Find help and support.
Visit SpecialDeliveryDoc.com today to see how you can be a hero and help stop workplace bullying.
All in a Day's Work is back. We have had such a hot topic today. Such a wonderful show, and we only got like about 4.5 minutes. So I want to get to this next caller. Caller, are you on the air with us?
Yes.
Hello, and what's your name, ma'am?
Evelyn from Florida.
Okay, we got about 2 minutes for you to tell your story. Could you do that for us?
Well, I don't have a story. I just had a statement, so I don't know if that's going to make a difference or not.
It doesn't. Anything that you have to say.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Evelyn from Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to say that I've been following Richard on his website, Bully Exposed.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's doing a great job doing this, being the voice for those without one, giving us awareness to definitely make a difference.
Thank you, Evelyn. Appreciate that.
That is wonderful. He is a person who is really taken the step to lead us when it comes to making sure that we expose all these bullies and get this legislation passed.
Yes.
In order to make sure that you have an outlet, because so many people feel like they don't have a place to go.
Yeah.
And I'm so thankful that you also have your website as well, because it gives them a voice as well, gives them somewhere to be able to channel some of the issues that they're dealing with, because so many people out there really are dealing with this, and we definitely have to make sure that we push forward with it. You are doing an outstanding job.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, caller, for giving us a call. So we got about
Evelyn.
We got about a minute and a half for you to tell us how to get in touch with you and get involved in your organization.
Okay, the website again is thebullyexposed.com, thebullyexposed.com. You can I have a hotline number. You can call me directly at 413-370-2400. You could also text me there if some people are shy. You just want to talk. You could text me there. You could also go to our website and you could blog and tell your story there at our website. There's an area there to just post how you're feeling, post whatever you want to post on our website. You could also reach us on Twitter at thebullyexposed.com and also on Facebook at thebullyexposed.com as well. Like us, we got 573 followers.
Well, we're going to definitely make sure we change that.
So that's really amazing and good for us, you know. But call us. But the one thing that my agent wanted me to say that this takes a lot of money to do this, and we need the money to finish the documentary. So if you can go online, you can buy T-shirts online. Find out how you can help us. Even just spreading the word. If you like us and spread the word like Evelyn said she's doing, that would help us so much if everyone can start finding out about us.
Without a doubt, I think this is extremely important. We are going to have part 2.
All right.
When we have part 2, what we want to really focus on is trying to get people help and how you can go about helping them as well, because I think that you are more like the mouthpiece for those who are really hurting and struggling right now.
I'm honored to be the spokesperson, so to speak, or the poster child.
Yes, without a doubt. and I got to speak as a person who has actually had to deal with this before, because I have too. I've had to deal with workplace bullying as well.
That's one thing about workplace bullying. Every time I talk with someone, or I talk with someone on a show, I've been on 2 shows so far, and both the people have been bullied. It's a shame. Why can't we get people like maybe Ellen or Oprah or somebody who has not been bullied to bring this show to light? That's the one hardest thing I'm having is trying to get people who've not been bullied to speak and help us.
Well, now you got someone that's going to actually help you try to do that.
All right.
Okay. Thank you so much for being my guest. We're going to have to set up this second show real soon.
Okay.
And thank you to you, your lovely wife, and your wonderful son over here who has been great.
He's on the document. He's on the trailer of the document.
Oh, well, great. What's your name? Come on, tell him your name real quick.
Come on,
What's your name?
He's shy.
He's shy. He's running away from me. You're not going to tell us your name?
Come on, Ray.
All right, well, I'll have your dad tell us.
His name is Ray. He's 10. He's going to be 10 on the 19th of this month.
And he's ready to be the next star as well.
Yes.
All right. Thank you guys for being on the show. And to all my listeners, thank you. And remember, it's good to have a job, but it's better to have one that you love. Until next week, you stay blessed.
Views and opinions expressed on this program were those of the hosts and guests and did not necessarily reflect those of Vegas All Net Radio, its affiliates, or its parent company.
Everyone's greatest desire is to belong and feel connected with others on every level. And now with FaceTime and Skype, we can see each other whenever we desire. And it reminds us that we are all human.